Tony DiMare is co-owner of DiMare Fresh, a producer and distributor of tomatoes in particular for schools, restaurants, cruise lines and others, many of which are closed. Tony, so far, have you been applying for these types of loans and have you had success?
We have. We've filed for 5 different entities. Unfortunately, we've only received funding from one, and quite frankly, not sure the status of the other 4.
And how crucial are those PP loans to your future?
Well, I mean, as far as the future is concerned, it is crucial. I mean, we're keeping our employees on through this crisis and pandemic, and like to be compensated for doing so because, you know, our operations have been cut down, the revenues have been cut down, and so, you know, we need, you know, this program for assistance and helping, you know, to compensate those losses, you know, that we're sustaining, you know, as far as the employees are concerned.
Jay, could you help Tony with some of these loans, or are there these restrictions that mean you can only help existing clients?
No. We can help Tony. Tony, you should have called me as soon as, you know, and I was personally, and my colleagues are personally dealing with lots of other people like Tony. So PPP loans, until the Congress acts, until there's more, some more intelligence being brought into some of the discussions that are taking place, there are a couple of things, Tony, that you can do. One is that there are SBA disaster loans. Then there is the SBA express loans. And those loans go all the way, you know, for a couple of $1 million, $1 million or so, to $3-4 million bucks. And you should take advantage of it, Tony.
And well, and
Tony, I have a question for you. I have a question for you. I'm going to make the assumption, I don't think I'm wrong, that the demand for tomatoes, or tomatoes, as Wilf calls them,
Thank you, Kevin.
is the same. It's either juice, it's in a salad, people eat them every day, the same number, 3 or 4 a week. You're just caught in the wrong distribution right now. I'm going to make that assumption. And you're going to, hopefully, as an entrepreneur, pivot so that next time this happens, you find other channels of distribution, because those tomatoes sitting in the field, people want to eat. You just can't get them to them. That's correct, is it not?
No, it's not. Let me correct you, Kevin. First of all, our tomatoes that we produce are strictly for the fresh market. They're not processing. They don't go into juices and paste. Our business in the fresh tomato industry is about 80% food service and fast food industry. And when the restaurants were shut down, or you quit the dining service, the fast food restaurants shut down, the school system shut down, the cruise ship industry shut down, the theme parks live in, you know, produce in the state of Florida, Disney World. When those sectors shut down, that being 80% of our business, it brought our industry to our knees. We do have some retail business, but it's, as you can see, a large percentage, and the majority of our business is food service. And I know this, with the stay-at-home orders that have been announced, people are getting out less and less frequently to the retail grocery store, so these valleys of demand are much more prolonged, and it's impacting our industry even further so. When you had the initial rush and the mass hysteria, everybody rushed to the grocery stores, you know, bought the essentials, bought the food items, but they bought for 2-3 weeks at a time, and the same thing is happening now. People are getting out less frequently. When they do get out, they're buying, you know, their essentials and produce items for 2-3 weeks at a time. So, you know, our business being dependent on the food service business was very devastating to our industry. And I know this, the restaurant industry is not opening up tomorrow. School systems around the country are not opening up tomorrow. The cruise ship industry is not opening up tomorrow.
Quick final question, Jay, to Tony.
Yeah, Tony, so if you could stay open, all right, people are not going to, listen to Kevin, people are not going to stop eating tomatoes, okay? So and you can get help from bank. It's our duty, and we'll make money on it too, Kevin. We'll never do anything without making money, you know? But we've got to help the customers. So you need help. You need some bucks to stay open, because we will open up. All the things you talked about were shut down. Guess what? They're all one day going to open up. My prediction, not too long, not too far away.
Sure, Jay. But Tony, very quickly, because we're up against the clock, but how many more months have you got where you feel like you can survive? Do you need those types of restaurants to reopen again?
Well, our business is seasonal. We were most impacted in our South Florida, Homestead, Florida operation. We were right in the midst of our volume time of the year, the spring time of the year. We left over 10 million pounds of tomatoes that went unharvested. We were stuck with inventories on hand that were sold, had POs to them. Our customers had every intention of picking up the product, but because their businesses, restaurants, hotels, cruise ship businesses shut down, we were stuck with those inventories. As a company, we donated over 1 million pounds of tomatoes to local, state, in some cases out-of-state food banks. The problem is there's tremendous uncertainty. We don't know when the demand is going to get back, and it's not going to start to get back until we start opening up these regions of the country and you start opening up your local restaurants. The fast food industry goes back to their normal business, so on and so forth. But we don't know when that's going to be. We don't know if it's going to be 2 weeks from now, 2 months from now. We're just starting our spring crop in the west coast of Florida with a lot of uncertainty. Unfortunately, those crops are already planted in the ground. Those crops are planted in January and February. So, we're at the point of no return for that crop. We farm in California. We're in the midst of planting that crop out there. And quite frankly, we're making hard decisions as to whether we plant our normal plantings out there for the marketplace in July and August going forward. We just don't know. I don't think anybody has a crystal ball to be able to tell any of us on this phone of when, the economy is going to get back to normalization. Remember, we're producing a highly perishable item that has got a very short shelf life.
Kevin, I can see you've got a very quick final thought, and then we need to go to break.
Tony, plant big. We're coming back, baby. Don't do that. Don't be caught without enough product when it comes back. You'll hate yourself even more for that one.
Okay, great.
Tony, we'll have product.
Please make sure there's lots of tomatoes for the other side of this.